Well, so you take found resources like the old garden beds and make some stairs for it. And you make them slope a little bit away from and down so that the water doesn't collect. And again, slightly above the next so that water that fills in under the stairs is also shunted away and doesn't rot the wood. Yeah, but here's what you can do with some found items. Some rocks straight on the surface. Again, the less is more principle is always the best way, as well as the path of least resistance. In which case you also, rebar is around, so there's stuff to be had. Nothing is waste. There you go. Nice and easy way for older folks to come up and younger ones to scamper up into the garden. To be continued. Oh, by the way, who are you gonna call? That's right. And then what do? You take a little grass. No, not that kind of grass. This is for something else. This kind of grass. You take some already existing grass and you dress brand new staircase. How do you like that? It's multi-generational. All these tilt downward that way as well as downward this way. So you've got pitch and you've got slope going so that the water doesn't collect here and start to push out your stairs. This is what you call a living structure. So it will self-heal and take care of itself as the years go by. The only upkeep you need to do is weed whack, of course. Big effing deal. But now what you got is, instead of walking up the side of the hill, which they've been doing for years, you've got a nice staircase that will easily give you access to the garden. More to be seen soon enough. Now then, not just having access up there, you've got potential erosion problem going on here. As you can see, it's actually sliding. It's a slow process, but eventually all that, because of gravity, will eventually end up down here in the walkway. In which case, how are you gonna make this work? I'll show you. With just some aberrant pieces of wood that you would otherwise think are waste that you could discard. These are from the old garden beds, and I'll show you what can be done with that for this. Just because it looks like shit doesn't mean it's garbage. This is what I live for. Love repurposing stuff instead of throwing it away. Even something as decrepit as this can be used for something, in fact, more like a detail, trim. I can't wait for you to see. Utilize existing structures. No need to go too far or too wild, too crazy, whatnot. Those stones that are already embedded will be the foundations of the next set of stones, as you shall see. The finishing touch, another little staircase going up into the process of troughs for the herb beds. For cooking, this is close to your front doors as you can possibly have. And then you just take it one step at a time. All right. Laying down the gopher fencing beforehand. See, underneath, nice and tight. They ain't gonna get in. Just folding this back for time being. So we can do this. And you want to save this because this stuff is repurposed over here. As you take dirt out of the beds, you place it where you need it. Congruency with the stairs builds it. And you take these off pieces and just start laying it down. Get the picture? Now this labor of love, of course, is going to be taking your time, no rush. You actually let the landscape speak to you, tell you what it wants. So you're not working against yourself or nature. In which case, as going along, moving up slope from the bottom up, putting in troughs, whichever direction it starts leading you. You take away the tops, place it to the side, and then replant as you go down so that you have a firm base in the summer and springtime. By next season, this will flow properly, as in it will shunt the water away as quickly as possible and efficiently, because that last level, as you can see, you want there to be a slight slope, not so much so that you can't walk on it, but just enough so you have the water shunt away. As you go along, you want to collect any resources you find. Large, medium, small rocks, right? And as you work your way up, you add structural features as well as design features. And this grass, this is native grass. It's got roots that tap in about 6 feet, 7, sometimes they're known to go 9 feet deep into the ground. They're what lasts throughout the summer, while this kind of grass dries eventually. You gotta weed whack it, but it looks beautiful. Keep it moist, especially the way the water's gonna be acting down here. It's still a work in progress. And moving further along, again, foundation's always the most important aspect of any structure or undertaking. We start with the largest rocks at the bottom and stack smaller ones on top of that. And it's not just throwing them in. And you don't need to put too much thought into it either. Read the topography and follow what nature has already kind of established, without having to do too much. In which case, yeah, of course, the foundation is important. And when you do it, it's always important to overlap the next succeeding layer. And when you place them, you always want contact points, right? Leaning as you're working up, you're overlapping and working back, placing them in. And if the slope isn't too steep, you can get away with doing it like this. Otherwise, if you're trying to hold back a rather steep slope any further, again, you don't need to dig it out. Use what's already there, but you'll also have to find resources to place in certain areas. So let me show you the procedure here. Simple, right? You collect your rocks, work your way up, using what's already there, shoring up any place that needs it, and here's how you do it. Tamping log, good to have. If you got strong fingers, you can use it like this. and work your way up, actually, if you want to strengthen your fingers. Not bad to exercise your fingers. Now, if you want, you can also buy a handle for a gate so that you have something to tamp down, because I use this both for ramming in rocks and for tamping down flattened areas. Now then, once you get them set in place, more or less, you're going to basically try to also secure it by knocking it in. Right? And as you do that and put the next succeeding one up, you knock them in. Boom, boom, boom. You see that? So that they're nice and tight. And the soil will eventually fill in. If it's stacked right according to the balance of gravity, you're not going to push anything out, but you're leaning it back. That way the pressure just gets more intense onto the bottom one. So it actually shores up this hillside without doing a bunch of construction that's unnecessary. But you get the picture, right? This is still a work in progress. All just for the herb beds in the kitchen garden.